Rahim. Our discussion about parenting in Sahifa Sajjadiyya. If you remember, I mentioned there is two dua regarding parenting in Sahifa Sajjadiyya. Dua number 24, which is وَكَانَ مِن دُعَائِهِ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ لِأَبَوَيْهِ عَلَيْهِمَ السَّلَامِ. Dua that Imam alayhi salam used to recite for his parent. Categorize that dua in 4 different sections. Didn't went completely through every part of the dua, which is a usual procedure. I just found out that the usual procedure here is just go step by step, verse by verse, to have an explanatory about every word, every sentence of the verse. My personal approach is more of a holistic approach, because I think people can read and benefit from it, but inshallah we have a alteration in.
You do what is comfortable for you.
No, inshallah we continue in this way. But with this approach, with part by part approach, there is no guarantee we'll be able to finish the dua or we'll be able to manage it. Because of that, I would like to give a background about parenting in Islamic narrations, in Islamic ideology. We believe that the religion is the perfect religion, is the last religion, is the best religion as well. That will lead us to believe that our religion has a plan, an idea for every situation. The religion that tells you which foot you enter the masjid or which foot you enter the bathroom definitely has a plan, a suggestion for other aspects of life as well, whether that aspect is social, political, economical. It is not just a religion that focuses on your relationship with God, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the very, very important aspects of life is a relationship in the smallest social unit, which is a family. Family is very sacred, important unit in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the wajibs on the elderly, on the people who has power, is to do this wajib for others, as we can see in 34 of Surah An-Nur. وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ. This is a wajib. It came in the form of amr. Do marriage toward your youth. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Youth, those who are counted as صالحين, and إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ, if they are poor. Ayah is not saying if they are afraid of being poor. One of the problems that we have, people say, I want to continue my education, I want to find a good job, I want to have an income, earning. These are all signs of fear of economical situation. Ayah sets one higher level. If they are actually, Ayah doesn't say if they are afraid of being poor. Ayah says if they are actually poor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to enrich them from His grace. Wallahu wasi'un alim. So in this small, or in the smallest social unit, we have at least two parts, two different categories. We have wife, husband. When there is a third member joins them, it will be a child as well. In this triangle, in this circle, we have different types of relationship. We have a relationship duties, husband toward wife, wife toward husband, both of them toward their child, and their child toward Them, if inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them lots of child, the children toward each other. So 3 relations. Right? Spouses to each other, to the children, children to each other, children toward parents. This is important because Islam, even though encourages us for love and compassion and showing affection and all of these things, but is really strict and structured about these types of relationships. What do I mean by that? These things, Islam called them huquq, rights. Huquq means rights, right? And if you know, we have haqqullah and haqqun nas. And no, I haven't found any hadith that says that there is a difference between relative huquq and complete stranger huquq. With me? So haqqun nas is haqqun nas. Regarding that nas, be my son, my daughter, my father, or a complete stranger. It is something that we don't pay enough attention toward. Okay, this is my child, this is my parent. When it comes in a term of huquq, there are some duties we have to do toward them, some responsibilities, regardless of what they are going to do toward me. I'm not going to take your money. I'm not going to steal from you because it is what? It is haqqun nas, it is haram. Right or wrong? Is it correct that I say, because you took my time, you took my money, I'm going to do the same thing? No, it is not. The huquq, rights, doesn't work like that. We have all of these kind of relationship. We can find some of these huquq in Quran. For example, ayah number 233 of Surah Al-Baqarah tells about what a mother shouldn't do toward child. لا تضار والدة بولدها. A mother doesn't have any rights to harm the child in the first 2 years of feeding. ولا مولود له بولده. Nor father has this right. About the duties toward parents, we talked that said over 8 direct ayah we had and discussed one of those ayah. There are lots of ayat. For example, the ayah of Surah Al-Luqman, which is one of the 10 advice that Luqman gave to his son. And that is entire, I think, lecture or course about how to interact with our child according to the story of Luqman, according to Quran. How we have to address him or her, how we have to talk, what are the important things that we have to say, how we have to express them. And all of this we can learn from this 5-10 ayat. A parent, in order to have a good, in Arabic or Farsi we don't call it parenting, we call it tarbiyah. Tarbiyah is different than parenting. I don't think we have a proper translation for it. We have education, but education is what? Teaching. We have manners. Manners mostly is ethics, behaviors. But tarbiyah comes from the root rab. Rab means nourishing, nurturing. Is a response. Rab is a person who is responsible for all aspects of growth, not one aspect. Rab covers the feeding part as well as emotional part. As well as the spiritual part. Every aspect of a life, Rab is a person who is going to make it grow. We call it tarbiyah. is because it's a holistic word, covers all the area. In order to have a proper tarbiyah, a walid, a parent, must be aware of different things. First, there must be a knowledge. Knowledge of what? The growth rate. What are the different phases in growth, and what should I do? What are the needs of different rates, different ages? It is very important. Often we expect something from a 2-year-old that even a 20-year-old cannot completely perform. I'm sure that you faced that, so I'm not giving examples. Or vice versa, a parent has a 15, 17, 20-year-old, and you see they act with that boy or girl, with that son or daughter like 5 years old, 7 years old. They do their beds. Both are wrong. They have a 25-year-old and they decide where you should to go, what should you do, what should you study. If I'm incorrect, tell me. You're completely ruining this cycle of growth. If I decide for them, what happened to? This is the haqqun nas that I was saying, this is that. Am I doing my duty? I'm overstepping. I'm taking the freedom that is there. Haqq. In Islamic narrations, if we want to see, there are two different things, two different sets of ahadith. One is about our interaction with children, which is, I'm sure that you're all familiar, but that is why I'm just quickly addressing it. It's dedicated in 3 different phases, stages. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Al-walad sayyidun sab'a sinin." Ahsant. Child is master for 7 years. Abdun sab'a sinin, servant for 7 years. Wazirun sab'a sinin, is a minister for another 7 years. This shows how these and other types of these kind of ahadith shows how we should interact and communicate with that child. First 7 years, he or she is the master. Prophet didn't say how to interact with the master, left the rest on us. Some interprets as the king. Anyhow, king or master. Master or king owns the entire kingdom. Right or wrong? Doesn't respond to anyone. Everyone else, everything else are his subjects or objects. Every other thing must be in a way to serve. You know, in Farsi we have a masal that we say, "Do padishah dar yek iqlim nemi gunjand." You cannot fit 2 kings in 1 kingdom. So if he or she is the king, is master, what am I? Oh, so know your place. This shows it not that you don't have to protect it. No, your duties on this, you have your duties. But how you are going to approach that child, how you are going to address him or her, how you are going to interact, communicate. Communication must be as a servant to master. Okay, let's go for the effects of this kind of communication. One, okay, whatever he or she wants, be provided. If it is not good, harmful, dangerous, what should we do? What a servant does. If the master wants a poison, the snacks, Cheetos, what should we do? What a servant does in that situation? No. Actually, in the ahadith of education, we have no responsibility for the first 7 years. We have from Rasulullah again, or Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, يَلْعَبْ for 7 سنين. دَعْهُ يَلْعَبْ. Let him play. دَعْهُ exactly means let go. So we have a set of ahadith about interaction. We have a set of ahadith about education. Education is completely silent for the first 7 years. So now he wants poison. What should I do? Should I give it? So, and then I'm a king or a master. What should I do? Really? What a servant does. What a minister does when the prime minister, when the president wants something which is not good. Hide it. Ahsantum. One way is that. Use distractions. Use fake news or something like that. Bring excuse. You're not going to fight with a master, are you? So direct conflict is, no, it's not an option. Indirect approach. Even when it is something harmful, dangerous. Another important thing which is usually neglected.
So do you mean to say we cannot pass on any experiential knowledge to our kids?
We can. I'm not saying that we cannot. But our interaction must be in the form of servant. How a servant teaches his or her master? I'm a servant and I have a master, I have a mawla, right? How I'm going to teach him? How am I going to consult him? From up to down or from down to up? It is entirely different. When I have a master, when I want to tell him I want to share him an experience. I will tell that in the form of a story. I will tell, I don't think this is a good idea. This is the term, this is the phrase that I use. If I want to prevent him from doing something, if I want to prevent the master from doing something, what should I do? What do I say? Don't do that. No, this is a master saying that. What should I say then? I don't think this is a good idea.
So you use the andragogy.
Hmm?
You don't use the pedagogic method to...
You can't, because look, the interaction, the communication is, as said, we have to be aware of our role here. When we understand the role, other things, okay, if I want to guide, if I want to say, show something, again, in this form, in the form of plays, in the form of stories, everything happened in this years in direct method. Another important aspect of this manner, that we can learn from this hadith is what? That's often neglected. We have been. It was a conference in Iran regarding that. They had a foreign professor from Europe, I think, came to. But you all paid great attention to one aspect of communication, of providing, of preparing everything and this and that. But you forgot one aspect, which is very important. Again, it shows it is in the field of interacting. We are sitting here in this room. Some of us, because of this sheikh talks too much, some of us are sleeping, some of us not, some pays attention, some not, right? Right from this door, right now, from this door, let's say the president of Tanzania enters. I'm not talking the president of Jama'ah, no, let's go for it. Or the Samahat al-Sayyid Sistani himself, or the first-hand representative enters. Do we sit like this? Do we talk like this? Do we behave like this? So when a master enters, we are completely aware of our actions or behaviors. So in front of a master, we don't say anything. We don't behave in any manner. We are very watchful of what we say, of what we do. This is a often neglected aspect of this hadith, of this interaction. We are in front of a master, so be careful. Because anything you use could be used against yourself. Second stage is what? Abd, servanthood. Servant is a person that is not free in neither idea, neither action, execution. If you fulfill the first 7 years like that, the path will become easy for the, of course 7 years means the first phase. For some children it is 5, for some is 7. But the first year of interacting with that child is in that manner. The second phase in the, okay, now the position is going to change. Now I tell you, listen, mothers love that. I am the mother. Now is a good time to share directly, to communicate from up to down. Of course, even in Islam, the abd has some rights, so we cannot do whatever, a person cannot do whatever he or she wants toward abd as well. No, it is not like that. So be aware. Anyhow, meaning that this child is ready to accept whatever you say. That is why when we have to take the most benefit, that is when in that ahadith of education, that is the role of education enters to play a role, a huge important role in. For example, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Al-Ghulam yal'abu 7 سنين. We have another hadith, دعه يلعب ويتعلم الكتاب 7 سنين ويتعلم الحلال والحرام 7 سنين. Child plays for 7 years, learns the book for 7 years, learns the halal and haram for another 7 years. These sets of ahadith are about educational aspect. We have in Nahj al-Balagha, وَأَنْ Imam Ali alayhi salam says to Imam Hassan in letter number 31, وَأَنْ ابْتَدَأُكَ بِتَعْلِيمِ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. I began your education with teaching Kitabullah wa ta'weelih, and the interpretation of it. وشرائع الإسلام, rulings of Islam, وأحكامه, وحلاله, what is halal in Islam, what is haram in Islam. And then at the end there is a very beautiful dot here. لا أجاوز ذلك بك إلى غيره. I didn't do anything further in your training, in your teaching. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam did this for his beloved son. So, teaching the book means Quran. In the second 7 year, we have to guide them toward Quran, whether it is in the memorizing form, whether it is recitation form, because as we said, in these years they are like a sponge, so we can put them in this class, in that class, in that class, memorize this, learn this, do this. The raw observing area, time. فإنما قلب الحدث كالأرض الخالية. Their heart is like a ready land. Whatever seed you put there, it's going to grow. Right? Third 7 year, we have what? Minister. The last phase is what? Minister. What is minister? Wazir. Wazir comes from the root Wazir. Wazir has two meanings. أحسنتم لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. Completely correct. We have one ayah in Quran. لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. What means what? Nobody is going to carry the burden of others. Wazir means burden. Wazir is the person who carries this burden. This burden could be mental, could be physical. That is why this age is the age of giving freedom, giving them experience, let them experience things. Either consult with them so mental growth, or you have guests, go set the table. How? Whatever you like. I don't know. It's different when you are acting as a master and servant. In the first 7 years, can you help me in setting the table? Second 7 years, you observe, okay, put this plate here, put that napkin there, put this there. Mastery is there. But in the third one, go set the table. How? I don't know. This is your responsibility now. This is, you put the burden of setting table on that child. That's an example, of course, different things. So Wazir has two aspects. Wazir is a person who values his or her opinions. So you have to value that opinion. Wazir, a minister, consider himself as a smart or even a smarter than the king, right or wrong? And if you don't consult with him, it's okay, what is my, the title says Wazir and I'm doing nothing. So respect this need. Wazir is a person, is you cannot use the other methods with. So if a master wants to do something dangerous, you can't hide it, distraction, you cannot do any of these methods for Wazir. No, he thinks, he knows. He or she, you know. So what should you do? A servant, okay, do that. I don't have to explain to you, or this. Explaining is good, but I don't have to. The question won't rise. Usually, why should I do that? The different whys that children use starts from this third stage. Or mistake is what? Or mistake is we consider them from the previous stage. So oh, you have to do it. No. This stage, when the whys begin, I have to do what? I have to start interacting. I have to answer. We have to work together. So he realized that his opinion is not that strong. That is why in education part they say يَتَعَلَّمُ الْحَلَالَ وَالْحَرَامِ, learns the halal and haram in the argumentative way. You tell them why, you tell them fasting is wajib, they say why? This is the time when you bring the argument, because ayah said لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, because we have to understand the others, because this, these because is for that stage. We don't have time, huh? We asked, we didn't even enter the 25th. Okay, let's just recite one part and then. وَكَانَ مِنْ دُعَائِهِ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ لِوُلْدِهِ اللهم ومن علي ببقاء ولدي وبإصلاحهم لي وبإمتاعي بهم. This is the beginning of dua number 25 of Sahifa Sajjadiyya. O Allah, show your grace on me by increasing my children's life. Make them live. وَبِإِصْلَاحِهِمْ لِي, make them good for me, correct them for me. وَبِإِمْتَاعِي بِهِمْ, make me benefit from them. Three things that Imam alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a ni'mah, a blessing, a minna actually, so extra. These three things, if someone has a living child, this is a divine blessing. If someone has a good child, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed the right path to our children, this is a extra blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we can benefit from our child, some parents think, no, I am the parent, I'm not going. No, it's Imam alayhi salam is saying. In Farsi we say that خَيْرِ اشْرُبْ بِنِي, you benefit good from this. If I purchased this phone or something, if we want to do prayer, we say خَيْرِ اشْرُبْ بِنِي. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you take benefit, good benefit from it. Okay, why don't we? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps all of us to benefit in the best possible way from our children. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps all of us to successfully be able to raise and nourish the Shia follower, companions of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam in our children. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.